Hey guys, this is Reverend Sean over at the Center Path, and we're continuing with our thing that hopefully some of you have downloaded. This is the cheat sheet here, which I'll have a link down in there. You can go on the website, the www.thecenterpath.org, and up in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see a thing that says downloads. You can download many of these. I think I have all of them up there. You can also make sure to follow us on Facebook, because I do post these on Facebook and little snippets and information like that. And I'll also post some of these videos. These videos I'm trying to do less than 10 minutes for each one of the concepts we go over. There's about 27 of them, or maybe 30, and each one of those could go way off. And right now we're in the middle of the Noble Eightfold Path. So stick with me on the path, and we'll walk together for a little while. So here we are. We've jumped into the Noble Eightfold Path, the checklist to reduce suffering and have a better life. And remember the Buddha who had walked around India and taught for about 45 years after attaining what we call enlightenment. Okay, he woke up. That's why he's called Buddha. He's called the Buddha, one who is awake. I've woken up. His eyes were less cloudy. His eyes were clean. That's the idea of it. He woke up to the answers to the problems that he was facing, that everybody faces. It's very common that there was suffering. What is that suffering? That suffering is going to be anxiety. That's going to be depression. That's going to be feelings of loneliness and feelings of overwhelm and all these kind of things. We'll go into different meditations for those as we go on. But today, we're going over the Noble Eightfold Path. And we did, remember there's 3 parts of the Noble Eightfold Path. Which is funny, there's 3 parts to an Eightfold Path, but whatever. There's 3 parts to it. Number 1 is prajna or wisdom. Number 2 is sila or morality, okay, or you can say virtue. And number 3 is samadhi or concentration. That's the Pali and the English translations for this. So we went through wisdom already, and remember it's very important to develop wisdom and compassion and have them balance out. Otherwise you get run over the top of people, or you become too cold and calculating. So today we're going to go over sila or morality or virtue. And the number 1, these have 3 parts here. We'll probably go over all 3. It's pretty easy today. We have right speech, right action, and right livelihood. So if we're looking at right speech as our first one, we may be able to take up just one for this one, but we'll see. Am I saying anything that is going to cause suffering for myself or others? Okay, that's kind of right speech, we could say. Am I speaking behind other people's backs? Am I saying the truth? Am I saying what is helpful? Am I saying what is useful? Am I saying what is wise and what is compassionate? So these are kind of contemplations we can do. These are meditations, if you will. Now remember, in previous videos, I kind of suggest that you sit for 3 to 5 minutes and just become completely still. Let everything settle. It's kind of like taking this bucket of thoughts and memories and mental formations and consciousness that you have inside your head all the time, and just setting it down and letting it become still. That's the process. Now, at first it may take you a long time, and there's some processes with that. We'll go over those, the different practices to do that. But at first, just get yourself to be a little bit more still. And then the next step is you can take on this idea of speech, for example. So here, am I saying something to someone's back, behind their back, that I wouldn't want to say, that I could say to them directly? Or should I just not say it? Should I contemplate that? Is that compassionate? Is it wise? These are the things we have to look at when we're trying to live this life under this idea of Buddhist as a philosophy, as a spirituality, or as a religion, whichever you have it. It includes any talk that would bring about suffering, or what is called slander, or harsh, or idle, or useless gossip. So we want to stay away from those. And then the Buddha was very specific on these, especially with the Sangha, because they would sit around and just chat, and they would come up with ideas about each other and bicker like normal people do. But this is one of the things we have to work on to achieve that more peaceful life, as it were. Sometimes the only answer is noble silence. Right? So sometimes that's the only answer. Now, we could be pretty quippy on this if you're on Facebook and social media, because people are really into this and they love to speak and they love to put forth their information. But sometimes, sometimes it may be fun to do that, but sometimes that can cause harm, or that can cause stress, or that can cause frustration, or whatever. So that's what we want to like work on for this is the morality of it. Now the second one we'll do after this is actually what's your action? Are you practicing what you preach? So if you're talking about being compassionate, loving, and wise, are you actually doing those things, or are you just talking about it? This is something that I have to work on all the time. Now, when I first started with Buddhism, I had some problems with driving. I'd get very frustrated with traffic. And I remember riding with a monk that he was driving at the time. This was in the Los Angeles area, and he would drive painfully slow. And people would come right up behind us and then zip in front of us and all that stuff. And I would get frustrated being in the passenger seat. I had no problem getting there at any old time. I wasn't going to be late. I wouldn't be in trouble, nothing like that. But for some reason, I get pretty riled up about those things. And I did ask him, how come you're letting everybody cut you off? I'm like, what the hell? And he said, no one's cut me off yet. People have pulled in front of me. And I've had to use my brakes, but that's what driving is. And it was that caused me to look at how I was acting. How do I, should I work on compassion? Which then I had to. For over a year, I worked my main concept in meditation was to develop compassion. And I had to understand that those people in front were very stressed out. Those people behind us were very stressed out, and we apparently were in their way. And when you have the knowledge and you realize, well, they should have left earlier. That's their problem. They should have left earlier. As long as I'm following the rules and being safe, then I don't need to, worry about me. I don't need to worry about them either. Those guys are if they want to be reckless, they can be reckless, but I need to be away from that. And I need to have compassion, understand that they might end up being that way because of many reasons I don't understand. Perhaps they had some diarrhea and were really having to get home, and I just happened to be in the way, and they were really trying to get there. Or they got a phone call that their child was in the hospital. Now, if you look at like the 7 Habits of Effective People, that's actually in there. It's called a paradigm shift. So you have to is this one of those things that we can apply to this action? Are we promoting our honorable, moral, peaceful conduct? Are we working honorably? Are our actions honorable? Now, this is a big thing you see, especially in Asia. How you don't want to lose honor for your family, for your teacher. And these are important things because you wouldn't want to do something, and I never want to do something that would cause my teachers, for example, or my family to have to pull me aside or even think about pulling me aside and say, you know what, you're messing up. That's honoring them. Okay, and that's a very important part in Buddhism, and that's a very important part in just kind of like society. How do you want to honor your people that you consider your teachers, your family members, your elders, and these kind of things? We should develop that kind of thing. That's a right action. We avoid anything avoid taking anything that's not given. This goes back to our precepts. Okay, avoid from destroying a life. Avoid harmful sexual actions, useless gossip, sometimes bad speech, bad thought. We should realize the actions for our the consequences of our actions. So that's cause and effect, which is karma. And here we go. We're starting to connect these things. So in action, we're looking at karma. And karma just means action. It doesn't mean something I do is going to come back to me directly. Like if I step on an ant, someone's going to step on me. It's not that easy. All karma means is action or cause and effect. Okay, and we'll get into that. Now, there's a lot of other misunderstandings that are pushed into it. We'll go over karma extensively at another time. But right now, today, we've completed the second part of our moral part of the Eightfold Path, the right action. So we've done right speech and right action. We've done right view, belief, and right intention or thought. So anyway, this is Reverend Sean over at the This is Reverend Sean over at the Center Path. Make sure to subscribe below, give us a like or a thumbs down, and comment. And you can follow us on Facebook at thecenterpath.org. Or also, you can look up the group, which is called the Spiritual Buddhist. Anyway, this is Reverend Sean. Talk to you soon. I hope you're doing well. Make sure your actions and speeches and stuff are right, whatever, wise and compassionate.